Yo, what's Papino, what's Papino? I told you was Papa. This show is you know what I'm saying, being sponsored by Money D. Shout out to my man Cash. Yes, I got the donations, Cash. I appreciate it. Because I took my live off too early for you to, you know what I'm saying, for me to see it. But I definitely appreciate the donations this morning. Shout out to Cash, OG Brooklyn, East New York. You heard? Um, I was thinking about something, man, because I was watching this thing. I was reading a thing about the Latin Kings and the Spanish Crowns fighting, and that was 1977, where they was having a gang war. Where at this point, where the Latin Kings and Spanish Crowns are standing at, there's probably dead bodies. Um, you know, my generation, where I'm from, on my block, we have more fights. So there's really no animosities because nobody really died. You know what I'm saying? Blockwise on some my side against your side, and I'm realizing that the generational gang banging is what a lot of this crime is coming from. New York City has hit that after the 2000s. The average young boy is gonna say that he got dead homies. So I got beef with them because they killed my brother, they killed my father. Remember, these young boys' fathers are our age now. They in their 40s, they in their late 30s, some of them are in their 50s. So now I'm looking at it now like, so the average young boy that's running around mad, yo, them dudes from that block killed my pops, or dudes from that gang clique. You know what I'm saying? It's turning into a generational thing, and when that becomes generational, it's hard to make peace. You can't, like you're in a destructive state. You have to remove yourself. I don't understand why people find it so hard to remove themselves. Like, you can't say you're addicted to the lifestyle when there's not that much money out there in the street. Are you addicted? Are you scared to start all over? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to want to remove yourself. It's okay to start all over again. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, because like just like you have generational wealth, you have generational gangbanging. Think about this: Nipsey Hussle, the great Nipsey Hussle. We love some Nipsey, the great Nipsey Hussle. He was doing the right thing. He was trying to build up his community, show his people the right thing, create these programs where they can learn. But the one aspect of life he didn't give up was the street aspect. So what he died over, rest in peace, had nothing to do with all the positive that he was doing. You understand what I'm saying? So he didn't remove himself mentally from that world. So when you're doing the right thing, why do you care who's telling if you're not in the streets? If you're doing the right thing, it doesn't really matter. It only matters if you're breaking the law. Yo, son, you tell me I can't deal with you unless somebody directly told you and your peoples. You know what I'm saying? We have to come. We have to get to that point in life, man. That it's now I realize what's going on. It's generational. It's generational gangbanging. Seriously, it's generational. Bloods and Crips. Look at this Chicago. When you hear 50 shots going off, you wonder why 40 of them is gang related. From what? These dudes' beefs is from 30 years ago. That just went generations, dead bodies, dead homies in New York is turning into that. See, when we say we have beef with somebody, the average person my age, unless you in the Bronx somewhere, in Mount Hope area, or somewhere in Brownsville was, yo, we had a fight with him back in the days, or he jumped me, or yo, the worst thing is he cut me. Now we have what's called a generational thing, you know what I'm saying? And you really can't make a peace treaty to that because these guys are so much on demon time. And when you speak to them, oh, he killed my homies, or he killed my father, or he... Remember, these guys' parents are just is our age. Most of these young boys that's gonna say, yo, my father's stone is our age. Most of these young boys that we're saying that's 22, their father's our age, bro. My daughter's about to be 20 and I'm 47. So you understand what I'm saying? So we have to understand that certain things are generational. And just like we speak about generational wealth, generational education, we also have to understand that there's generational gangbanging. What's popping? There's nothing, You can't look for a Martin Luther King to solve that. You can't look for a Malcolm X to solve that. You have to remove yourself. If you don't remove yourself, then you're just gonna deal. You have to deal with that stress and those consequences. You can't get mad if you're staying. That's one thing about the United States of America. You don't have to stay nowhere. You have the freedom to move around, the freedom to do anything you want to do when you got some money. That's the whole thing with the economics. You may not like my color, but you're gonna respect my bread. This is the deep life because it's generational. Think about it. When you even turn to it on YouTube, the younger generation speak more about the big homies and little homies and middle homies and the block that block out the homies, where most of us are talking about dudes that was getting money and dudes that got jobs. And yeah, my best friend became a cop and my best friend became a CEO. These young boys, all they know is gang, 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 because that's what they grew up on. Not just the music, just the conversation. We see it online where it went before YouTube. We had the DVDs, right? Before the DVDs, we had the rap videos. You know what I'm saying? We had America Online. We had BlackPlanet.com. You know what I'm saying? We have we have Facebook. We have MySpace. We can't forget all this has created, which New York has created generational gangbanging. It's back to the Wild Wild West days when you had, like you said, the Jolly Stompers, the Tomo, but even they grew up after a while and took advantage of the power that they had, and they got into the construction industry. Even they grew up. You know what I'm saying? Even some of these Jamaican posses, they've learned that it's more money doing the right thing by them sending their mother to nursing school or their sister to nursing school, getting them nursing degrees. And this is why the West Indians control that medical department in New York City. The average spot you go to, you're gonna see a nurse that's gonna be Haitian or Jamaican or Trinidadian, because a lot of that money came from a cousin who came to America and he was the plug, and he was sending that money back. I mean, when they came to America, they went straight to school. They got their degrees. They got these state jobs. That's who's really running the medical field in New York, the West Indians. Smart thing, right? So other than that, they use the streets to create an economic balance and take it to the top. I had to do this live because that's what it is, man. And we keep going. We try to figure out this young dumb nigga skinny cheat. Yeah, but it's generational gangbanging. At this point, these young boys is dying mile a minute. So now you got the average young boy that's 21, 22 that got 7 dead homies that died at the age of 18, 19. You dig what I'm saying? So we have to get it. You have to understand that. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have to feel sorry for that. I mean, you as a parent, because most of them still live with mama love. Y'all got to move away. And I don't mean move away as you're going to a shelter in the Bronx and look for the cheapest rent in the world, because you look for anything cheap, anything free ain't good all the time, man. You have to move around. You have to shake and bake. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between generational wealth and generational gangbanging. Generational gangbanging leads to when you get 50, 60 years old, no 401k plan. You wasted time in the streets. Do you want to be like 60 years old and you wasted so many years in the street that you didn't come up? The only thing you will have is a name for yourself on the block, but you're living welfare check to welfare check. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta think about things from an economic standpoint. You know what I'm saying? When you look at it on an economic standpoint, then you have to wisen up and go, yo, man, I gotta be smart, man. The only way I'm gonna win this, I have to get away from gang. You feel me? Because now it's to the point that it's so much gang that we begin to glorify jail cats that can't get out of jail. That's how sad the generational gang situation has come to, where we're glorifying, nothing wrong with it though, but we actually find ourselves glorifying jail cats. Dudes that's done all this time in the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's more dangerous now. You know why? Because in New York City, like I said, it's gone back to that time. These young boys got dead homies. A lot of us, we got dead homies. Depends on what zip code, but a lot of us got dudes that they passed away, but now it's really like these dudes got dudes that died over gang activities. A lot of our friends died over drug activities, or drug deals going wrong, or robbery going wrong. You know what I'm saying? Or it might have been a fight and he shot him, but it wasn't gang related. A lot of these situations are gang related, clique related. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be passed down to another generation that's going to come up that's going to go, he's my op because he killed my older brother. He's my op because he killed Sean's mother. He's my op because he shot Peter's brother in the back. It's different. We don't have ops, most of us OGs. Most of our beats came from the penitentiary, you know what I'm saying? Be honest with you know what I'm saying? Whatever happened in that ever, it called for a lot of things that happen. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Jazoon says, but a lot of young people don't mothers and fathers, so they tend to look for the family love in the streets. It's a fact, because they mother and father's in the street. They got a mother who's a bloodhead or a criphead, and they have a father who's in jail. And the uncles, all the uncles is running around wild, so now they're looking for it, they in the streets. But when we was in the streets, we had distractions, money, and they have violence. So now every 90 days, there's a rest in peace dead homie. These young boys is dying 16, 17, 18. You know what I'm saying? So this is where the parent or someone has to go, yo, let me move out this environment. If you're gonna stay in the environment, then you're just gonna stay in Beirut. A lot of them parents don't want to do it over a check. That's a fact. I know a couple of parents that wouldn't send their kids to Job Corps because they believe that it would affect it would affect their DSS or their welfare check. So he can't go to Job Corps. Not because he wants something to do the right thing. No, because it's going to affect this welfare check that's coming in. Seriously speaking, a lot of them parents, this is what they do. They'll keep their kids in these situations. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of us. A lot of us wasn't told to go to school because we were smart. A lot of us was told to go to school because they get the face-to-face letter, and that's what that was the hustle. That's what got you the money, the rent paid, the Carnet paid, and that was the sign of the time. So we have to be mindful of that, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our parents, because they want to stay under their conditions, you know what I'm saying? And so a lot of parents started cleaning up and getting their lives together, getting city jobs and moving out. Yeah. Remember that Chinese spot? They had the big wings. Exactly. Somebody, but this was there. Exactly. So once you realize the problem, nobody's gonna be able to stop that. Nobody's gonna come around and be able to go, we're gonna have a peace treaty, we're gonna sign a peace treaty, stay where you at, stay where you at. That doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Just move out the environment. I understand what the fear is about moving, starting all over again. I don't get it. People do it all the time, man. That's just one thing to think about. If you can't if you don't want your kids caught up in the dangers of outside, then you have to move. If you think that people are gonna respect you being an OG or being from some weird block, and yo, I remember some pops. Nobody cares about that. It's just like the penitentiary. Nobody cares about that. That's why you hear these stories of these old guys that's going through their politics. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody cares. These young boys don't care. It's like we didn't care. You have to break the cycle. Some people want to break the cycle for cheap rent. Okay, you pay cheap rent, but there's shots going off or they're in front of your house. You're a prisoner in your home. Cheap rent, but every time you go to the corner store, you don't know if you might come back. This is something to think about, man. So before I go, 'cause I have to go back to work, y'all think about that, man. Listen, we've come to a point where we begin that we don't glorify doctors. My cousin's a doctor. My other cousin's a lawyer. We don't glorify them that come from our conditions that made it out. We go back into the cycle so sad, and it is so sad that we just begin to glorify jail cats. Yo, he's a real one. You know what I'm saying? But we had to change that thinking, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion on the situation. Yeah. The only way to break the cycle is you gotta move away, man. That's the only way you're gonna break it. But you gotta move away on your terms. It can't be gentrification. I'm gonna give you $1,000, move to the Bronx, move to Grand Concourse. It's because that's Murderville, B. You know what I'm saying? It can't be, yo, we got a deal for y'all. Go to move. We got a free apartment for you for on 196 Grand Concourse. Those You know what I'm saying? You have to go, you know what, I'm gonna take a chance to get a and take and really save my money, learn how to manage money and move to a better community. There's no way that Riverdale that's in the Bronx is one of the best communities in the 5 boroughs. And it's in the Bronx, bro. So that's just one thing to think about, man. Before I go back to the camp, man. I appreciate y'all. You know, like I said, it's just my opinion. This is what I've done. I've moved away, and I'm living a better life. And I might, even for where I'm at, I'm in a good neighborhood. Shout out to Southern Belle. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not in the mix of the mix. I have no reason to be in the mix. I'm actually living a good life. You know what I'm saying? You don't leave one city to do the same thing in another city. You have to be fully committed to change. A lot of people ain't really with the change thing. It sounds good until you physically do it. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, for those, my IG is up Zeke Black Feed the Wolves. I don't have more content on weekend long. We're gonna talk about this generational thing. We got this thing with Bambada we're gonna be talking about. I'm happy that people are waking up that the guy. Yeah. Because it's generational, because now it's hit New York City, generational gangbanging. A lot of those shootouts and shooting corners up is because somebody killed somebody's in the name of the gang. That's what a lot of this is. A lot of this is young boys. Those are our ops. Where back in the days, our ops, we just fought them. We forgot about them. That's time we seen it was 30 years later on IG. Oh, it's my man. He's still alive. Oh, yeah. Now it's different, so we got to keep that in mind, you heard? That being said, um, move smart out here, man. Pay attention, man. Keep your eyes open. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of dudes that's gonna jump out the window. They're gonna play crazy. Don't become somebody crazy memory. You know what I'm saying? That being said, I appreciate y'all. Deuces.